Mm-hmm. You not see me? You not see me? Now hear me? Check. Now hear me now? Yeah. Good evening, and you hear me? You talk to cool. Alright, yeah man, I gotta just have a little conversation today because I just think the things we are going right now are right, so you know, just I gotta make some views and establish some opinions, and if you don't have no questions, you know, answer it to the best of my ability. You get me? But somebody have to say something and talk on behalf of the people. Audrey, what you deal with? Somebody have to talk on behalf of the people who might not really understand exactly what I want, or who might not have the same platform and ability unless them go demonstrate or mash up the place. The mic not really the attention of them, you understand? Hail doing what go on. Blessings win some. Thank you for joining. I just like do another 2 minutes, you know, and welcome to the page. I think this might be my first or my second live from Facebook. I used to do some live over by Instagram with the mats, CXC mats last year, you know, and I mean, I'm so sorry for the kids them now and where them I go through and how them I be sacrificed, and you know, I mean, I don't really love what I want, so I got all the reasoning then as myself, I go freely answer and truthfully as best as we can answer any questions one may have, you know. But I tell the people them say, yo, what's happening is not right in my opinion, you know, generally. And they might use our lack of information, our lack of coordination, and our lack of a willingness to fight, you know. Yeah. Mary Wagwan. Respect. I'm sure respect, man. Yeah, man. I mean, I fight the struggle, you know. Good night, Damion. Alright, so in another minute we are going to start, right? And then we just welcome all the people who come along after, yeah? You know, and again, I thank you. If nobody else want to think might want to join in, just invite them and make them come over, and then we move from there, so you see me? We move from there, so yeah, man, respect, love, man. Thanks, Susan, respect. Love, Peter, Antoinette, love. Sadie, love. Shani, Bob Marley have a song that says we've been chatting on a wine press. Enough people don't know what it was, but a wine press was a thing where you used to step on, and when it rotate, it come and lick you in your shin. So it stop. So you step on it and it come round and lick you. And step on it and it come round and lick you. And when you step on it, keep a lick you. And it create a whole heap of little injuries and a whole heap of problem, but you just had to step on it. And that's what I see what going, you know, in this system. So we are starting now, see, and as I say, you can just tell me what you think, and if you have any questions, if you can provide any explanation. But I decided to do this live today to tell the people one thing: you have to fight for yourself. Right now, the way me analyze it, we're faced with an incompetent government and an inefficient opposition. And so therefore, you have to fight for yourself, because the government now really fight for you, and the opposition not seem to be able to fight for you, and the media is being either bought or ignored. And so I can identify no real group that is really standing in defense of the people or against the abuse of power. The role of the opposition and the media is to ensure that power is not abused. And power, the abuse of power is not only through thieving and self-gratification. The abuse of power is also through decision-making that is not appropriate and not effective. What we see happening now is 2 years in, or almost 2 years, we still don't have effective plans and effective strategies for dealing with COVID, and the people who are being most affected are the people who are least able to manage the impact and the effects. Now, that is what is wrong with policy. The role of government policy is to make sure there is sufficient consideration for those who are least able, or what they call the most vulnerable. In a different circumstance, you're going to have different levels of vulnerability. So you're going to have one circumstance that women may be most vulnerable. You have another circumstance that children may be most vulnerable. You have another circumstance that poor people may be most vulnerable. You might even have a circumstance where the rich may be most vulnerable. So when you look on things like where people do false investments and them things, the poor are really very vulnerable to them form of scams there, because they don't really have enough to invest. But you have to look as a government to say, how do we put plans in place that are going to impact and protect those who are least able to manage the negatives that is coming out. Now, let me establish something to you. Two things COVID do. COVID make people sick, and COVID cause people to dead. I add another one, COVID full up the hospital. But that really come from causing people to be sick. So COVID cause people to sick and cause people to dead. Everything else is based upon government decision. COVID don't lock no country. The government decide to lock the country because of COVID. But COVID don't lock no country. In fact, there are many states and countries that have decided not to lock. So therefore, that is a choice that is made. We now really talk about if it's a right choice or a wrong choice. We have currently established what COVID do and what government do and say is COVID. COVID don't lock no school. Government decide to lock school because of COVID. But COVID don't lock school. COVID don't put a curfew. Government decide to put a curfew because of COVID. But COVID don't put a curfew. So anything that you recognize may not be in another country means that it is the decision of one country or another country to do in response to COVID. So we have to now analyze these responses and say, are these responses adequate, sufficient, and fair? The last part is what have been constantly ignored within our society. Is it fair? Now, when we look on what going on, I'm going to start with the different segments and the sectors and show you, say, there are things that can be done. It cannot be right that we have had a situation where the entire country has been suffering since March 2020. And the only time the government gave any financial assistance was way back in about, I think it was September or November 2020, when there was an election. That cannot be right. And the only contribution that was made was a $10,000, I believe, that if you work it out now, have been about a $22 or $21 a day. May I say to you, recognize the coincidence that this happened while an election was coming up, and nothing else has happened since then. When the reports are showing that food insecurity is very high in Jamaica, meaning people are incapable to access food with nutrients sufficient to be nutritious to their bodies. So even though some people might eat food that is not nutritious, the dumpling and butters of this world. See? And instead of the government seeking to make contributions to the people, not different from many countries in this world, not different from the United States with their stimulus checks, not different from Canada, not different from England, not different from many countries in this world. And when people are say Jamaica can't afford it, that is not true, because in the same way that Jamaica don't have as much money as the United States, equally Jamaica don't have much people as the United States. So Jamaica not rich like America, but America have 3 million people and Jamaica 300 million people and Jamaica have 3 million people. America have 100 times the amount of people where Jamaica have. So Jamaica's need to contribute to the people is not established by the amount of money alone, because you don't have as much people that you need to help. Now, as I said to the people, you go and analyze it. The government has been targeting a operating surplus. That is only for boasting. That are when them can walk and say, yo, we have an operating surplus. That is what Andrew Holness and the Minister of Finance will boast on, that we were the only country with an operating surplus during the COVID. But at the end of the day, that is of no moment to the people who are incapable to survive because of decisions that the government took and is taking. So if the government changed the level of operating surplus that they're seeking to achieve, we can get about $20 billion available to distribute to the people who are suffering. Let me give us some examples of the people who are suffering. Because we're not thinking, and we're not planning, and we're not acting like we're sensible, and we are just a celebrate some little crap and some little shit that is happening in this country, where a prime minister can go help out a little one person with a little 100,000, everybody clap, when you have an next 300,000 people in a fear, same position, incapable to be helped. Where even the opposition are going to build one house, you want to look at one person and say, oh, look where we are, look where we are, when you have another million people in that position. Politics is not no look at one person thing, no look at handout thing, no look at come round the corner, come let me help you. Politics is policy. We're supposed to change things for all persons or most persons in similar position. This shit where we are doing, where one man get a look at thing with video and camera, is foolishness and wrong. Some look, hey, come here, look what we have done for John and look what we have done for James. We have 500,000 people living below the poverty line. Mean we have 500,000 people that live on less than $300 a day. 500,000 people for the day, them have less than $300. Some there the heights of it near 300, and some the $20, some the $40, some the $60. Meditate. If a man live on less than $300 for the day, a 3 meal him supposed to eat, him have $100 meal. We're not talking about travel and transportation. We're not talking about light bill. We're not talking about rent. We're not talking about water rate. All of which he is now stealing. Meditate. So when you have that circumstance where we have a high level of people who are dependent on people interaction to survive. The man who sell bag juice is dependent on people interaction. If no people is there, him can't sell no bag juice. The man who sell a school gate, imagine the people who sell a school gate. We have about 230 schools in Jamaica then. See, let us put 5 people at the school gate. So we are looking about 1,000 people who used to make a living from the school gate. Since March last year, no school gate not exists. Because look on the 100,000 people where the Minister of Finance has lost their jobs. Including people who used to work for me, where me have to lay off. And many other people where them have to lay off. Because look on people who in the entertainment industry where have been locked for the last 18 months. I not just talk about the artists, because some of them they already have money and them still have money. I talk about the person who used to rent bar bar and bar activity. The girl who used to work in at the bar. The one who used to wear the branded clothes them for people. Not about people used to do like security work for events and entertainment. All of them people there. They are now incapable to earn a living and have become poorer and poorer and poorer. And instead of the government saying, okay, let us revive the surplus where we want to get, revise that and give them a 1% break so that they can get some assistance. They reserved the assistance for an election period, coincidentally, and continue to implement pressures and not relieving the pressure in any way. Look upon this. There is a tax on gas. That tax on gas is not necessary because there is no longer a hedge on gas. When there was a hedge on gas because oil prices were so uncertain and were skyrocketing, there was a hedge on gas. Oil prices now plummet, and basically there is some steadiness in oil prices and some certainty in oil prices, so we no longer need to have a hedge. The government maintained the tax on gas despite everything what happened to it from March 2020. Despite the fact that me have a lady from the 13th of March and she no work back all now, that about 2020. And the government still are maintain the tax on gas. Now some people say, me no care because someone who are Pharisees, who think say, someone who are Greek, who think who are Persian, someone who are have not, who think who have, someone who are nobody think who are somebody. And so therefore, who not fight on the wrong side and the wrong team. Because when you say, oh, me no care, so me no use gas. A gas distribute the bread to your community, and when time it's expensive to distribute the bread, that become a cost to the company and they have to increase the price of the bread. So when there's a higher gas price based on taxation, there is a higher food price because food must be distributed from the place that it was produced to the place that it is consumed. And distribution is a cost that is considered in your price. So when me say, what is the price of my goods? The price of my goods is 20% added to the cost of getting the goods to the final consumer. If that cost is $10, it is 20% of $10. If the cost is $20, it is 20% of $20. We have a suffering economy, a suffering society, and a reduction of people interaction, which is the basis of hustling and the earning of the poor. And we still have a gas price, a gas tax, increasing the cost of transportation, increasing the cost of workers, increasing the cost of getting to work, increasing the cost of students, increasing the cost of delivery, increasing the cost of food. And then to them I say 15% increase in a bus fare is coming. Part of that is because of the cost of gas. We the people should demand of the government to remove the gas price, yo. We the people should say move the gas tax because that gas tax was there for a reason. Stop depending on opposition because they're ineffective. Stop depending on media because they're bought and who are not bought are being ignored. Stop depending on government because they're wicked and unconscionable. Stop depending on yourself. Organize on yourself and start to ask for fair and reasonable practice. We just sit down and take the batteration. We just sit down and take the sufferation, and there's no voice from one of us say, yo, we cannot take this. You have another thing where the cost of transportation has increased for shipment of goods, like containers of goods coming in. When a container of goods come in, the tax at customs is not based only on the invoice, the tax at customs is based on also the shipping, the cost of shipping. So when you have a higher shipping price, which if you not read news, you know would see everybody in a manufacturing. I talk about the higher shipping price. Shipping price I move from $3,000 thing for a container to all $15,000. We cannot control that part of it. But why is the government taking the full tax on the shipping? Because now they might earn more money in a custom duty from the shipping portion. Why them not cut the tax on the shipping portion? It not take 2 days for government to do these things in a people. The government can say, okay, if the tax is 20% on the invoice, it is 10% on the shipping. If it is 20% on the invoice, it is 5% on the shipping. All of those costs are now causing food who can't eat. And who eat food that only full in the belly, now provide no nutrients. I was reading something today, I read it for you. I read the thing today. The thing said that by a lady named Vanessa Barrows coming at the cleaner. I want to read the newspaper too, you know. I want to read the newspaper because what I find said the lack of information and the lack of knowledge is what they might use to suppress, you know. See? They might use it to suppress, you know. The lady said, Jamaica's food and nutrition security policy outlines, this is 2013, that the weekly cost of a basket of a required 2,400 kilocalories for a family was raised to $7,439. In a 2013, the cost to eat a reasonable and effective meal was $7,439. She said in 2018, more than 70% of the population had insufficient resources to access safe and adequate nutritious food. 70% of the population cannot access safe and adequate nutritious food. This is not what me are saying. This was in the Sunday Gleaner, written by October 11th, 2020, written by a lady called Dr. Vanessa White Barrows. See? So therefore, why is it that we are not taking steps? So when we hear people say, well, what I do different and what can happen different? We can remove the gas tax one. So that would reduce food prices and reduce other costs. And we can reduce the cost on the shipping portion of imports because most of what we are now is imported. And the cost of shipping is exorbitant. The GMA talk about it. The Manufacturers Association, the same GMA, the PSOJ talk about it. And the government has acknowledged it. And then they are skin them teeth and raking the money, raking the money, raking the money. And uno they just they are ball and a ball and a ball to himself. And I hope say some hero I go come, nobody now come for no. Everybody I try focus on saving themselves. So within the economy, them can do that as well. I see the Prime Minister go to Parliament. I'm telling them say, yo, we don't know what to do in them car. Sometimes I see someone all attack some things. I don't know what to do. The Prime Minister go to the Parliament and he said that he chose not to take a loan from China to build the road in Montego Bay. Everybody around talk about the Chinese get the road and the this and the that. That is true too. And that is something we have to discuss why Jamaicans weren't considered. But the government said they choose not to take a loan and to build the road out of the consolidated fund. In a time like this, when we are in need as a people, why would you choose to direct the money from the consolidated fund to do something that you could have gotten a loan for? Are the people not important? Should the people not be considered? The people them where share a bathroom down in a Arnett garden. The people them where share facilities down in a Painland and down in a Bacto. The people them who not have the necessary resources to stay at home, who live day to day and hustle day to day for live. The hairdresser who you take away on Saturday. The mechanic. The lady them will no longer get days work because everybody has stay home, or the wife now work, or the father now work. Or my helper used to get 5 days and she start get 3 days now because everybody have to cut back. Why would you choose to not take the loan and use the money that we had in the consolidated fund? The money we're in at the budget. Why would you not direct that money to the people, giving them some little basic work, bushing and this and that? Why would you not give them some of the Jeep program work where Portia did have, so that they can earn and choose to divert the money, yo? I want to know, say nothing, I want to know, not think. What are you doing? What's the plan? I'm going to go on education now. They have this whole education thing. From last year, March, we know that there is a problem. And the only thing I'm hearing is that there's a problem. Nobody's putting forward a solution. The first thing I said to the people, we the people must organize ourselves to help ourselves. Because nobody now help you, and nobody now help we. So we have to come together now and say, alright, me and make a call to UNO now as a youth. To put those who have the ability, make us come together and form a telephone tutorial brigade. Make us come together and say to ourselves that we are going to get 2,000 away who can help people by telephone. All the students have to have a 1 hour period twice a week where we can call them and help them. Because when I see these people that talk about, oh my God, we're going to get them tablet, and them take some little picture with tablet. When they get the tablet, they still don't have the data services. When they get the data services, they still don't have the help at home. Because some of these kids, when they're in a 3rd form, 4th form, their mother drop out in a 6th grade and 4th grade. I see a president who white glass out by right near PMP headquarters. I don't really go down the regular now, but me that pass. The man's son passed for Georges. And the man see me and I say, Rasta, my son passed for Georges. Now, God forbid, if the son gets some chemistry homework, I doubt that this Virginia can help him at home. Could be wrong, you know, but I doubt it. I make a guess. So this Virginia don't have the ability, he never get the opportunity, he never get the chance to make himself into somebody who can help his child at home. So when the child now is working from home and he don't have access to tutorial, to tutelage from people who are capable to help with the homework and the higher home content, how it going to work out? Somebody needs to express and explain that to me. The ones who are the CXC, I said to them, say, yo, make us do a little camp so that them can board in on the school compound, at least for the period going up to CXC. A 2 week, a 3 week, a 4 week. So we can just keep on and teach them back to back, hours to hours. How do they come and say, yo, okay, we'll limit the maximum subject you can do now in the school at 6 subject, because some are do 8 and some are do 10, and we just can't do the social distancing. I mean, I tell you, me did do 8 CXC. It was unnecessary. Nobody asked me how much CXC I am now. Nobody now asked me how much CXC I did. It wasn't necessary. But within this time, we say to ourselves, all right, we try and maintain 6 CXCs to the person. See, we try and say we're going to do the CXC maths in a January. And then if we do the CXC maths in a January and CXC English in a January, you only need to come to school for the other subjects so we can rotate it during school. But we have seen in the newspaper where the man them said that child abuse increase, that child pregnancy increase, that child molestation increase, not because of COVID, because of the decision to not have adult supervision for our children, and instead of going to have community auditors or community persons who are walk around and check on these pitney, we leave the worthless of people to molest and abuse them, and we put no plan in place than to announce every day upon the TV so that we have a problem of hundreds of thousands of kids not signing on From last year, June, I suggest to the ministry, say, yo, put in a system that have where you go online for classes, and at the end of the week you do a test, and if you don't get over 65%, you have to come to school next week for face-to-face. So each time you look, you can analyze that. No, I don't know if these make sense, but I say we need something, we need a plan. We can't just make them waste up. And them done, did I say done already now, them gone fully done. Mr. Pickney down in a St. Mary just a ramp the whole day. I used to come by my farm every day, just a run up and down with goat and them things. I mean, as a king, when you not do no work and I'm going to give some look of mad excuse. Say, oh, I'm not today and teach and I have nothing for do today. The man them come in with entertainment and basically turn entertainment into the enemy of the society. From the time when them open back the goddamn thing, I said to the man them, listen people, how can you move from 0 to unlimited? Church them move from 30 to 70. Night and funeral did move from 15 to mostly 100. And entertainment move from 0 to 10,000. How can entertainment move from 0 to unlimited if you never have a plan to blame entertainment? And when we said to us, say, yo, make us put it at 300, no more than 200. Make us put it at 200 or 300 so that we can see what happens within the next month. It was ignored. You know much people spending up their money if you keep partying in September and can't get back that money now? We book sound, we print flyer, we gone and rental venue, cannot get back that money now. And we said to the man, them say, King, put in an insurance policy so that a man who are planning an event can say, if the country lock back, my losses are limited to X. But because you don't use your brain, you don't realize, say, yo, a man go take out some money from down a quick cash, $800,000 and buy a sound system. And he might rent that for $20,000 or $30,000 a week. And hope for rent it, a rental. And hope for rent it 2, 3, 4 times for the week. Him not renting that from in a straight from way back down a March 2020. And so right now, him interest upon the thing gone up further than where in the borrow in the first place. How him going to survive? How it going to work out? And when you're not standing up for yourself, when you're not fighting for yourself, when you're just dead and I say, Lord, God. Let me say, I don't know about COVID, I'm a scientist. But some things don't make sense to me. It don't make logical sense. I can understand the mask thing because if you sneeze in a mask, it reduces the distance where the sneeze can go. That's why from me I grew up, my mother said, cover your nose when you cough or cover your mouth when you cough. So therefore, I can understand the mask thing. And if when you sneeze, the mask capture somebody and it not go far, and then the other person have a mask, then less likely, not likely, but less likely, say you are going to transfer COVID. We can understand social distancing. It used to be 3 feet, then them change it to 6 feet. But if me sneeze and you there 10 feet or 20 feet, my sneeze less likely to catch you. So if you're 6 feet, it's less likely than if you're right beside me. I understand that, but I cannot understand curfew. I cannot see how a curfew stops the spread of COVID. In fact, from my knowledge of mathematics, a curfew is likely to cause for congestion because everybody is moving at the same time. So I don't understand a curfew. I might be wrong, but me just say I don't see the logic of it. I don't see the logic of it because first of all, the COVID spread within 15 seconds. So me can see our man say him lock down the country and you can't come out because then there's no interface and no interaction. But I can't see if you say you can come out, but you can come out for only this period of time. So by time 6 o'clock, everybody a try run go home. And that is why them say the bus stop was one of the biggest spreaders. Public transportation is one of the biggest bases for COVID transfer. Half a Tree Park, Crossroad Park, Downtown Park, Mobile Park, Clarendon Park, Maypen Park, Spanish Town Park. Everybody are trying to reach home at the same time. So, when we make this live here for today, so I said to me, say, yo, I don't know what we're doing as a country, but I can't believe someone so weak. I can't believe that we don't have nothing in our heart for other people who are suffer. I not really suffer yet, you know. I lose a shitload of money, but I not suffer. You understand? But I see people that are suffer. I see people who cannot manage. I see people who cannot survive. And I see pressure accompany them every day with a set of people in government where I laugh when they announce it. I smile when they announce it. Why are we not calling for teachers to get $100,000 to prepare themselves for working from home? That should not be the cost to the teacher for buy a better computer, for pay for better Wi-Fi, for buy a headphone. That should not be the cost for the teacher who buy that for our picnic too. Why we not call for the teachers get 100,000 one half or a 200,000 one half to prepare themselves for work from home? The CDC said them expect more school shutdowns. And we just didn't know the teacher them just dead about, oh, we don't want a vaccine, and yeah, me don't know about vaccine. Me don't know nothing about vaccine. Me not expert. But me I say there are bigger things too, man. You don't fear a lobby for yourself. You see a man say curfew work before. You clearly don't really understand. I just lifestyle. You see what I say? When there's a spike in any activity, over time, that spike dissipates. Whether there is a curfew or there is no curfew. There are many states within the United States that did not close back, and they saw the reduction in their spike, even though they did not close back, similar to the ones that did close. Because there is a reality of time and the transfer of time and the impact on spikes. So when there's a spike, if you lock down the country or don't lock down the country, time will prove both to be correct. We do not have a comparison in Jamaica to say that when it lock down, it continue to spike, and when it don't lock down, it stops spike, or vice versa. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, to assume, say because over time the spike go down, it was because of the lockdown and not due to the passage of time, is an incorrect assumption. It is similar in incredulousness and foolishness as it is to say that the people in discipline is the reason for the spike. Because if the people in discipline is the reason for the spike, then when the spike go down, it should be based on the people's discipline. And it is not. How when it not do good, the government is the reason and the policies is the reason. But when it do bad, the people is the reason and they are indisciplined. That is not how science go. That is not how statistics go. That is not how reasoning go. That is just a bunch of dunceness said by some people who cannot separate themselves from their political alignment. You understand? So, then I feel like I'm so hard black this, but I would just ask me be a foolishness. So what may I say to my people? The JTA, the Doctors Association, who them are treat like they're nobodies, right? The doctors are out there, and when the doctors come, first of all, why should a doctor not want more pay? Everything about pay suggests that a doctor should want more pay. The doctor had high investment in getting to become a doctor. He must have study hard, he must have pay enough money, he had to pass every subject. His prior contribution is great. He must have work hard half-time to doctor. He must have expose himself to all kind of risk, and he wants some more pay. How if you have a government I tell the doctor, say, him forget 6 months contract. How am I going to take out a bed from courts? How am I going to take out a mortgage from NCB? How am I going to take out a car from a car company? Eh? If him have a 6 months contract, can he go down to Honda or down a Toyota or down a ATL and take out a car for 5 years? Can him go down a courts or down a Singer and take out a bed for a year? Can him go down a NCB and carry a 6 months contract and say that he wants to take out a mortgage for a house? What cause for our doctors to be unreasonable for one to take out a house and one to take out a car? And because we are a doctor, we don't say nothing. We allow the government to just box them down and treat them like nothing. And then we go to hospital and I say nobody to take care of us. The nurses are run where every day got foreign, run where every day got foreign. We need the Doctors Association. We need the Teachers Association. We need the Nurses Association. We need the Household Helpers Association. We need all of you who know somebody who has suffered to raise up on voices and say that whether PMP or JLP, we will not continue to be used and abused in this way. Some consideration has to be made. Some stimulus check. When we were running the election, you laugh when I tell you, give the people $4,000 a month, at least make them have water and light. How you going to stay home without light? How you going to social distance? How you going to properly cleanse yourself without water? You laugh. Kiki. You know what 5 grand could have done for you now? At least you could have lived. At least you could have looked forward to a local stimulus check. Now I say, how we are going to afford it? We have billions of dollars. $200 billion of discretionary spending the government have. I want to laugh because you don't know, so you're not Greek, you think you're not Persian. You don't know, so you're a part of the have-nots, you think you're a part of the have. Imagine them school where we're failing before COVID. Some school where they have a 2% chance of 5 subjects. Some school where they have a 7% chance of 5 subjects. What the percent now? Well, enough of them association are taken over by political activists and well, I mean, I don't know. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen to a person who was 14-year-old, I goes to 16 now, and not get to go no school? What happened to she? When she breed and have picnic now and end up a live a man yard where I beat her, what happened? What happened to the youth now where a par with a gang now because we mother gang and hustle and father gang sell some bag juice or wipe some car glass and him not got no school if you have nobody to associate? What happened to him? Then him going to start now to start rob people and kill people and take up gun. And people like me are going to try live in a gated community and try wind up a car glass so that we don't really interact with them. But people like you will stand up a bus stop and walk a yard. You're going to be exposed to those people. You're going to be exposed to those people every day. The people who are most exposed to crime are the poorest people in the society. Very, very seldom the richest people get killed. Because we don't really interact like that. We're not that exposed. What happened? What happened to the pregnant lady now who malnourished and have a baby who have all kind of learning disability because she couldn't eat and government never consider to do something for she when she used to go hustle on a Saturday and can't go hustle again? And the baby that were born with a learning disability end up go to some of our dirty school and we're not thinking about that. And so she fail every subject and then end up just become another problem to the society. Una does think tomorrow, una not think long term. What's gonna happen? With all of them girls, yeah, we are get molested at them yard because those who were staying at home and without parental supervision. Which picnic take up a book voluntarily? When me a youth, me have to get beaten if I take up book. So I don't know how to expect picnic to go log on voluntarily when no parents is home. We have to stand up for justice. The right thing you say in the Bible. Nobody now stand up for justice. Nobody not willing to fight for fairness. To fight for truths and rights. You understand? Me see this bridging down at the Maroon place. Comes up boom and I try a thing and I say, yo, make we have some conversation upon the land where we supposed to own. Me say Jamaica people are dealing the man away. See? Now, do I agree with everything where I say? No, because I never understand some of the things. Do I feel say, yo, they are a separate state? I don't understand it sufficiently to even know. But if they think that they own land, if they feel say, yo, based on this treaty, the land was belonging to us, why shouldn't they ask for conversation about what about the rights to the land? Out of the conversation, it might come to say we are paying for the land, or we never own all it, or we are take back some, or we can use it this way, or whatever. But what is wrong? Because enough of the people rich in this country is based on land where them did own, and we don't know how them did own it. And enough of the people who are blocking this country is because we never have no land. When slavery ended, the slaves weren't compensated for their slavery, but the landowners were compensated for their land. And some of those people, children, still own land in Jamaica right now and rich out of it. And because the youth come and say, yo, my people, they own some land, which we have evidence that they did have some land for real based on the treaty. See? Now, you must say, yo, come we talk about that then. What is wrong in talking about that or wanting to talk about it? But you, una Persian and think una Greek, una start dealing with the man away. No, me no know, because I know me even talked about it, or I'm not at the table. But me not see nothing wrong with wanting to talk about that. These people from the Maroon areas, they were earning money from ganja for a very long time when it was illegal. Then it becomes decriminalized and them say somehow we can grow it and things. And they weren't grandfathered in. Them still have to act illegally. Him can say me want to have a conversation about grandfathering in our farmers into this whole medical marijuana thing, because that will then change our earning capacity and our living standards and our community functions. Why him can't want to talk about that? Because me not say we are going to take no white man land and just say, give me this land here. We have to talk to them about that. So when we see how we are moving, Maroon did wicked, and we can discuss that separate and apart. One day when we are drinking a juice and we are all a reasoning. But may I say, what is wrong with a set of people who have the opinion that they had ownership of land, to say that we would like to have a conversation about this land and the impact that this ownership can have on our children and our children's children, understanding that the access to wealth is dependent on the ownership of assets, and if you don't own assets, you almost cannot gain wealth. What is wrong with that? Well, we just ridicule him. Go that. Hey, Maroon for go and them can't have our own state. Do I think they can have laws separate from our laws? I don't think so. I think so the Jamaica law must abide. But me not have the full knowledge. I go down there and educate myself. But that is why when we did write the manifesto, we did say that the Rastafari and them should have 4 settlements assigned to them, because when them have those settlements, then we could have had special arrangements, like if we can plant marijuana with a different arrangement than the foolishness that we have put in place to make sure the poor don't get no benefit from ganja. The rules in place to get a license to plant marijuana means that if you're not rich, you will not get one. So what if the Maroon them say, yo, we want to be able to plant ganja without some of those rules? What's wrong with that? So we are go up on the minor again and not about a state within a state. But if you go and looking at the United States, there are some special conversations, considerations, and rules for the Indians that were there. And if you go into Australia, which I have been, there are some special considerations for spaces that the Aborigines exist. See? So when we are looking into these things, these are the things where we now recognize. We just follow some little people, some paid media people, seeing over some of them radio station there, where we just want to talk some little rubbish. See? No follow people, oh, Damion chat too much. What else can I do but talk? What do I do? Mine or no? Me can't mine or no. The only thing we can do is to come and say, yo, I see a shark in the water. Because I cannot take out the shark and I cannot kill the shark. I can only warn, you know, say shark is there. You know, come out of the water. That is the only thing I can do. I can do nothing more for you than to inform you of the negatives that you face and to try and create a movement around resistance to that negative. I want to follow people and try silence me about chat too much, like say me can go to hospital to solve the problem by myself. Me can go take out my pocket money out of my pocket and go solve the school problem. Me can take out gas tax. Wanna give me power for take out gas tax? The only thing me can do is to say, God, bless me look at knowledge, bless me look at teaching, and me can see some things that other people will never get the same opportunity, cannot see, and I can then come and tell them about it. If me get facts about Enzinga, I go down there and me analyze up the thing. The police them a say, yo, them don't know. That the police them a say a different story. You understand? So because it's under investigation and I get two different stories, me just leave that alone. But don't forget, say, when we wrote a manifesto, we say we want to say Rasta to be an official religion. It is not accepted as an official religion in our society. There are things that we can do, you know, as a people that we just ignore and run back at people and chat every day. Lord God, today is a problem, tomorrow is a problem. We have some policemen that feels that if they are friends with the government, they'll get promotion. So every time that them go and see a man violate the government, them make sure them video them and discipline him and video themselves in the act of discipline. You don't know how dangerous that is? And because a man feels him a PMP or him a JLP, he must say, oh my God, you can't diss the Prime Minister. Me no feel say for this the Prime Minister. No man. No woman. We can't live with life and celebrate disrespecting people. But at the same time, you cannot have a police force enforcing disrespect. Disrespect cannot be a crime. And dissent is a necessary part. So when I look on, as we say, yo, the politics thing clearly not work. But me I say to the people, fight for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Start to put on your brain, on your eyes, research, and start to talk for yourself. Because if you don't start to do that, you will continuously be sacrificed. And that is what is happening. The things that are owned by the wealthy are not being treated in the same way. If you are walking out in a community, them running around the yard. If you live in an apartment, you can walk out the whole apartment and nobody not running in the yard. You know, see something different. You know, see the big party keep down a nigger. And I'm my virgin them. I'm glad to them get them boss. But my sad said the thing treated so differently. That one set of people are treated very different from the next set of people. So, I mean, I say all the man talk about murder. That gone out of hand now. 6 a day, 7 a day, 8 a day. What we do about it? The people them we used to say them are social activists, them silent now. Everybody afraid of them, man. I am afraid of them. Because them crab it. Them make you suffer, them make you uncomfortable. See? And we just walk around and just bawl to ourselves, bawl to ourselves. I do the live here, people, for simple say to you, yo, break up on the follow ground. Nobody know they out there for organize, you know. You have to organize on yourself. Everybody I try to make a living, I try to survive. Me hear people say, yo, Damion with me. I try to pay my mortgage from month to month. I try to pay my salaries them when I owe people month to month. So you have to, for your own self, organize on communities, organize on teachers association, organize on nurses, organize on the police association. See, Tawana, I like the argument there. I could talk solutions. As I said, I think there's a whole heap that can be done. The first thing is to make we can eat. Reduce the targeted surplus by 1% so that we can have $20 billion available so that we can now make the people can survive. That is one thing. 2, remove the gas tax so that the food costs cannot run as fast as it run with the increase in the foreign exchange and the other things where clearly we have no control over. 3, cut the tax on the shipping portion of customs. So upon the shipping portion of customs, reduce the tax by 50%. So you pay upon the invoice and the shipping portion is a different tax because the cost of shipping have dramatically increased. 4, encourage the people to do local farming. In our yard, you should have a banana and a plantain. In our yard, you should have 2 fowl or 3 fowl walk up and down to get some egg. In our yard, you should have 1 pumpkin round the back. In our yard, you should have a lime tree so you can mix local beverage. In our yard, you should have 1 goat. Remember me telling you about goat from 2019, you know, when me have no goat, you know, and now me have 400, you know. I want to laugh and say, hey, give me the 5 grand. If you have 1 tree goat in your yard right now, between goat milk, goat meat, and money where you can use to sell, you're alright. I'm going to run down food war. I don't eat pig, but right now I put in some pig. I them things you have to look upon. The government should set trigger points so that we can predict. It can't just be based on Andrew's whims and fancy. Why the government not come to you and say, okay, you see when the positivity rate is 15%, the curfew will be 10 o'clock. You see when the positivity rate is 10%, the curfew will be 11 o'clock. You see when you reach 30%, the curfew is 7 o'clock. So you know your trigger points so that business people and other people can make plans based on heading towards the trigger point or moving from the trigger points. What is wrong with that? Why we don't set trigger points so that it can be more predictive? Why is it that a person who have a business like myself have Monday to Friday, but the lady who is a hairdresser or a barber, a virgin who is a barber or a man who work on car, him have no day at all because Saturday is for them day and that lockdown early? Why we never have an early lockdown Wednesday and have a late lockdown Saturday so that the people who are vendors or what we call Saturday workers could get a reasonable amount of time on their day? Why the man them who are going 9 to 5 have a longer day all 5 days and the people who work for themselves and hustle as a service provider on a Saturday, and it cannot not be Saturday because I can only go hairdresser when me now work. I can only go barber when me now work. I can drop off my car when me now work. Why that Saturday never longer and a Wednesday shorter? Why we don't organize the manufacturers of this country to carry printed documents to the wholesalers within the community, and a mother can pick up those documents so that even if they don't have internet, them can do the worksheet with them picnic. Because bread truck got every community, chicken truck got every community, grace truck got every community. So if the Ministry of Education coordinate with the Manufacturers Association, our trucks can carry the paper to every community and pick up back the paper, and the ministry just come pick it up from a central point. Why we not do that? Why we not organize all of the university students and the graduates of the university who are willing to volunteer for the telephone tutorial and to assign one child to each person so that we can call them and reason with them on the things where them don't understand, so that we can stop have dunce picnic and fully dunce picnic who sit down in a class and don't understand, get homework and don't understand, and don't have no parents who can teach them because the parents never get the opportunity to understand. Why the government not just organize up 6,000 away who are available in this society and say we will volunteer to call you on a Wednesday once I get the worksheet and you have the worksheet? Why we don't do that? Why we not go to CXC and say to CXC, here what I say, we want you to have staggered exam. So we want you to say to we say, okay then, in a December we are gonna have sciences. In a February we are gonna have arts, and then in a thing that we are gonna have skill work, so that we can stagger our children going to school too. Because you don't learn by the number of months, you know. You learn by the number of hours of exposure. And that enough people don't know. You see some who me see I run them things and them never teach it. Some of them people me see their Ministry of Education, they never teach in their life. If me teach you 40 hours of mathematics over 1 year, it is no different than me teaching you 40 hours of mathematics over 2 months. There's no difference. As long as they get the hours of exposure. So if I give you the hours of exposure, you can do the exam. So if we say to ourselves, say, yo, December are sciences, therefore we not teach the arts and we not teach these other subjects. Only the science in them are going to come in and them will get 4 hours of science a day or 6 hours science a day. Them can finish the syllabus within the 3 months. Me finish mathematics syllabus in a 3 weeks. Me carry picnic or UE, go live for 3 weeks and teach them from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock. 3 hours mathematics. Break. Go and do some things, eat some food, come back. From 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. 3 hours. Alright. Go on again. Eat some food, drink some drinks, come back. Ramp look a bit. Revision time. From 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Come again, chill out. I'm going to do that for 21 days. And teach the entire syllabus. So if CXC stagger the thing and say sciences, then only the set up in there we can social distance. Then we come to boom, no one say, okay, the rest I wanna go and do some online class, but the sciences split in them are coming in. Alright, arts, science split in them don't pass already. So arts, who no pass, go and do some online class. That's how we have to think creative. What proposal the government put forward? Not one damn thing. Nothing. You get me? So, I mean, I would have assumed so from March last year to now, we'd have a TV station for CXC. We'd have assumed that. So we'd have like a homeschool station, a television station with the best teachers running. Because government can always do a free-to-air station. So we should, a long time we should have a free-to-air station. Where you come say, you know, say mathematics at 8 o'clock. And then the mathematics they are going to repeat 4 o'clock. Or it are going to repeat back again 11 o'clock in the night. And you have a 7th grade station, a 8th grade station, a 9th grade station, a 10th grade station. Because we give out the bands them in, we make station, a government tell which station is a station. So like how most people have TVJ and CVM, we could have a homeschool station. Why we not think about that? See, yeah, like GIS and all them people. Because if remember them not have the internet, you know. So what I say is that most of we have TV. Why we don't think about that? We have spent billions and millions on some fool advertisement and all those things. See? Why we not side community supervisors? Some elderly women who walk around and check on picnic. Nah. Stacy have to come out so you can look and see some man over there or whatever go on. But I feel them look work that them get them look package every month in. Because them are assigned community supervisors by the government. Adults. Make sure say Stacy not take up man pan her head. Make sure say John not go in a gang so that the parent can be advised. Social workers released upon the community and released within the society to make sure so we're putting them safe. How can we not afford all the things that we need to do, but we can afford the things that we don't need to do? Explain that now. Because I not understand why we feel like nothing can do. I'm still say $5,000. Every household in Jamaica should receive $5,000 towards light and water so that they can at least have the dignity of light and water. It's the easiest way to share the money. Because if me give $5,000 cash to our household, 2 brothers fight over it and 2 sisters fight over it. But if the whole only use the light, me I give it into no light. Why? Why me not see the cleaner I put out some cheap menus when nutritious? Like this can be a $300 meal, this can be a $400 meal. Why the government not work with UTech and Gleaner Observer and put out and star, alright, and put out some things where we can share on WhatsApp so a man knows that yes, you can make a banana casserole with tin mackerel and it have all the nutrients necessary so that we stop wasting money. We don't know about nutrients. We grew up on things where we mother cook gravy and oil and them things there. But we are get diabetes, the level of diabetes and high blood pressure we are going to in Jamaica after this COVID here. It's going to be exponential, and it means that we foot are going to chop off and we eye are going to blind. And I see market me and all them people that just do madness. We should have designed some menu around cheap inputs where can be nutritious. Because yam have this amount of calories and this have this amount of vitamin and this have this amount of thing. And if you cook it up this way, and it can be a $300 meal and a $400 meal instead of we just go talk about a fried chicken and chips. Yeah. The school paying them a bun ganja cigarette. Hey, let me tell you something. When me a youth and me say me bun school, appear rudeness me do, so if me never go to school, Jesus Christ. Light bill gone 35,000. You hear that? Yeah man, it's the media. One I time, you know. I mean I tell you, I think me not really well. One I time me think me hear Cliff use and say me mad, you know. I mean I say, why would the man say me mad? You know if you agree with me, but how am I mad? You understand? I don't know how the man never reach to that, say I'm mad. You see me? But that was life. Switch to Labour Party. No. Right now, I'm just living my life. You see me? I want to go down to Bruce Golden and go ask him for the NDM contract. Then to give me the papers for it. Because right now, I'll be a madness all I go on over for my side, you know? But we lack vision. We lack vision, you understand? So, one thing, give me some more suggestion. Because we must have some suggestion too, you know. We must have some suggestion too about what you think should happen and could happen. And that's the problem, Giovanni. We now read them and hide the things them in a book from we. And I tell we foolishness about socialist is bad and capitalist is good. I see some company and say them I make super normal profit in a COVID. I said, Jaja, you know, work from home. Boy, I don't know how work from home would have worked for a factory, for example. Because you have to do it to run the machine. So enough people can't work from home. So Frederick, is it true? I see Chronic step on the internet the other day, and Chronic said some things more time, saying no real politician and all anything. That a film business, him can do that. But it's when him tell about what locks me, enough time I go through that. Even people will support me and say, yo, you have to trim if you want on Prime Minister or whatever. Me there in England and me there in the first class line I go up on a plane. And when I go up on the plane, the woman says, sir, excuse me, this is the first class line. I say, so what disqualify me from first class? Just through me, how me look. But me mechanics say, I think that sometimes at the airport, them going like you have gun in your ear. You understand? Them treat it, them take off whatever. Me have to pull out my locks, me have to shake it out. Embarrassing to me sometimes, but I just love it, see me? Yeah, but Rasta go through some things. So through me have locks, me not really Rasta, but through me have locks, me go through the same things. You understand? So yeah, them feel like them can disrespect, you know? Feels alright, man. You have to do what you do, you understand? Hey, in an election, you know, the man them put out a thing where say, me say, heart I go fund the PMP manifesto, you know. Heart. So I call along there and I say, yo, I want to say heart I go fund the manifesto. Where me say that? You see me I say? No, part program them say. Them say me say part program. I say part, part for fund program, part not earn money. Heart, me say. So I call him and I say, oh, no, say, part. I say, the man I say, yeah, make you listen it back. And I say, yeah, man, I say, and I say, boy, I'm sure it sound like part, sound like heart. And some people say, heart, the man say, man. So I say, if you never understand, why you never call me if you ask me for true? You see me? Anyway, I say, yo, just give me a retraction and we move on, everything good. The man then put out, said, Damion call to basically them say me call to explain say a heart. I say me not back out to explain you. Misquote me. You say me say part when a heart. I say. So yeah, them have to do for them thing. See me? Them have to do for them thing. And the party alright, man. You see me? The party not really give me my juice, so I have to just make them do for them thing. You see me? I'm telling you something, people. You see, in this world, everybody is a user. Everybody. You have to decide who you are going to make use of, and for how long and for what reason. But everybody are trying to take advantage of somebody and of something. You see me? So you see, anytime them feel like my talents can be taken advantage of, them always willing. So me have to decide how long me are going to make them take advantage of my talents. You get me? Yeah, but no hard feelings towards them. Make them go under them things. You see me? PMP only have solutions when they're in opposition. Alright, you can go and talk up your mouth. I'm not even talk as PMP right now. I talk as Damion Crawford who no plan for runway. You understand? I prefer to live in Jamaica. See? So if you can't really discredit what I say, I don't know where you come and talk about PMP and JP and whatever you say. And I say, I talk about me, one of the things that me sick and the things that I want to do. And that them use and conquer on the mind. Because through your party in power, you don't recognize that you are suffer. You don't recognize the sufferation where come to you and people like you and groups of people like you. You think that the people that live in a Tibali garden have a different level of sufferation from the people who live down in a Painland or the people who live down in a Augustown. I watch a TV and I see a 10-year-old get murdered down in a jungle. And I watch a TV and I see an 8-year-old get murdered down in a Denham town. There's no difference based on which party you support. The only time we hear your election day, after that, in a business day, you go ask any labor right away in my constituency when me there. I treat everybody equal. Treat everybody like people, like human beings. So just because you're a party in power, don't mean say you're different. You understand? Analyze the thing as a human being and as a person who living in this country. You see me? Yeah. Minimum wage have to change. If bus fare increase because of inflation, minimum wage must increase. I'm telling you something. You see, even who want to pay more than minimum wage cannot pay more than minimum wage because you can't compete if you are paying more than minimum wage and the next man are paying minimum wage. Like how me have my little farm and me I try sell egg. If a next man have feed egg farm and has to pay 7 grand, me cannot pay 10 grand because I now can sell my egg dearer than feed egg. So government have to change the minimum wage so that the whole way have to pay the same because good heart in a business. You understand me? The government needs to intervene and change the minimum wage right now, immediately. You see me? We say you have 150p. I want 2 of the female them for buy because, yeah, I tried. I recognize the clocks. Well, you see, because we not read and them look foolishness there. But even PMP, I don't hear a PMP, I say. I don't hear a PMP believe in it. That's why I have to take on my body to because I don't hear them attack nothing where I say, yo, I love what them say or what them believe in it. So I have to just disappear from them. to get more agricultural land. More you read the PMP manifesto, because when I write say any youth will have land and willing to use it for agriculture, we just send him a case for to do a particular crop where them find to be good to be grown upon that piece of land, and then give him an investment. You understand? I want to read the manifesto there. And one of the, in my opinion, I baddest manifesto ever write. I'm not busy when nobody wants to say. See me I say? Yeah man, in my opinion. If a guy wants to say no, that's a film business. You see me? Minimum wage encourage crime. I don't understand how that. Rent to own. Hey, let me tell you, I understand them, not understand some of my things them, you know. See? Because, let me tell you, enough people don't qualify for a mortgage because them cannot prove them income. You see, if you have a rent to own system, if a man pay the mortgage as rent over the next 2 years, then him proves him can pay the mortgage. So him nobody need to find no salary or no nothing, because he prove him can pay the mortgage. So when you have to carry your 3 job slips or your whatever to prove say you can pay, that don't facilitate enough people who are hustle in the streets. That don't facilitate a man who keep a dance and he make the money for the year. That don't facilitate a girl where I get a money from somebody or whatever. So the rent to own will just bring in the informal into the formal. But no, them talk about ray, but them just don't say, man. You have AIC, land to farming, you have AIC and you have Sugar Corporation also. But the other day I come and run in from a piece of land down by one of the things that we do mango. I'm running from the thing we do mango. And you know the man them say you have to have $20 million in your account. Them say if you get a piece of the land, you have to show an account with 20 million. I drop my chapter and nearly dead. I'll be a trick in the thing. The man them say, girl, yeah, forget the land. Not only you have to willing to go plant out some mango tree, you have to show 20 million in your account. That, yeah, you have to go look back on it and show no. You have a piece of land. No, it ain't in England, yeah, but I just say we would have to do it through NHT now, and with the link up some people who like some pension funds, and them people have to say, okay, we have to put in some money for build them, but yeah, man, say I have 20 million in their account. We never see $20 million one time yet. Why the PMP not opposing? You have to ask the PMP that. You have to ask the PMP. You organize and unite the party. But I don't know, you know. Why did the opposition support the increase in the DRMA? Because it only need a simple majority. You understand? They only need a simple majority. So sometimes you have to lose anyway. You see me? But the abuse of power, the people have to resist it, you know? The people have to resist it. Yeah, that we say, the man said 20 million in your account. I say, yo, this never make no sense. The best thing I do is get some goat and go and grow them, yeah, man. The crime plan. First thing, mommy, Jamaica people don't even know what is crime. Because we have a criminal plan. We have a plan to catch the criminal. If you have a crime plan, it must be to prevent the crime. If your crime plan speaks only to catching the criminal, then it is too late. Because then the crime has already been committed when you have a criminal. So this thing about court and increasing and killing them and all kind of thing. We need a criminal plan and we need a crime plan. We need a way to catch the current criminals and we need a way to prevent future criminals. The best way to prevent a future criminal is to make him have something to lose. Them youth yard and jail is of the same circumstance. Him sleep on the ground in yard, him sleep on the ground at jail. Him not have no food to eat in yard, he might have no food to eat at jail. We need to improve our schools to the point that these people can earn a living. Seeing that's why I write a full youth plan to say what we want our 30-year-old Jamaican to be. If we not establish that, we can't say we have no crime plan. You get to me, I say? So when you have one guidance counselor to almost 1,000 students in a school, they know say Jamaica madness. One guidance counselor to nearly 1,000 picnic, then how am I going to help them picnic there? Him just go work and collect him money because him can't really help them people. So we have a criminal plan, but we don't really have a crime plan. We say that them say what you think name again Jamaica Eye. Alright. If we have Jamaica Eye, how comes it not upon every government building? Jamaica Eye should upon every government building. Come here say them kill a man over by one of them clinic and they never have no Jamaica Eye over the clinic. I just trick them a trick with man. All of them. Everybody love the poor, everybody love the people, and then everybody win and the poor still lose. Me not understand if you don't realize that. Yeah man, then me not have to hurry up and make my work and them go home before night because crime inhibit productivity. Bro God, him good man. No, you see, me no want Rasta feel like say me I try claim Rasta. Cause my father was a man where they have to trim me now, forget to work. So I him me grow my ear for, but me not really live the life of Rasta. I'm not trying to get any notoriety of a Rastafarianism or any popularity of it. I know say I have my locks and I just go and hold my vibes. But me I make you know say anything when Rasta suffer, looking like a Rasta come with the same sufferation. You understand? So I just that me go through and anything a Rasta enjoy, looking like a Rasta come with the same enjoyment. So me get both the good and the bad of looking like a Rasta. And the deregulation, well, deregulation a long time thing World Bank imposed upon the people. But me them say now they want to make water private. Boy, if PMP no resist that, me no know what will happen. You understand? If water private, you know, private people is determined by resource, you know, capital. If you can't pay for it, you can't get it. And if it don't make no sense for you, we not carry it. So I think water should be alright. But I can see what happen. No, I can't put it together, the party have to put itself together. The only thing I beg the PMP is don't allow itself to become a capitalist party. There must be a party that believes that the people are at the center. You see, capitalism means that capital is the priority. Capital determines how resources are allocated. We need to change socialism to humanism because that is what socialism is. The human is the priority. So the human and the human dignity supposed to determine where resources are to be directed. In our society, the human is being left to live like a dog. You understand? As I said to you, if you look on a security guard with a dog, the two of them are the security work, you know, and the dog get better treatment than the man. The dog eat 2 times a day, the dog go vet, the dog get good housing, the dog get clean, the dog get vaccine, and the man can't eat no food. The man not getting the same treatment. The man not get the same treatment as the dog. And the two of them are do the same work. You understand me? I said to them. Even if you're not looking at that and see something wrong with that. He said if the dog did do doctor work, I could have said, okay, the dog will get more pay. Or if the dog did do teacher work, the dog will do security work and the man will do the same security work. And the dog will get better rewards than the man. And them take out money out of the man pay, say him fi give them money for in uniform and him fi give them money. But because the politics is run by money alone now, if you don't have money, you cannot win an election. No matter what you say, no matter your heart, no matter how you're good and kind. If you don't have money for run, you cannot win. You see me? That's why you see the whole life politics are just money people are running it off right now. Yeah, man, the dog will get better treatment than the man. To get back in power, now that I feel leadership by party, brother. That bigger than me right now. I just try to make some goat soup in a one can and some chicken soup and yeah, run off the local farm and sell some egg. Yeah, man, money. If you don't have money, that's why I have to step away a little bit too, man. Because where politics need me not have, because I never born rich. No, No man, I will always support and vote for the PMP. I just not kill out myself like I'm used to run up and down because it's not really appreciated by some of these people, see me? Mm-hmm. 4 times. Where you say ask me 4 times? I don't see it. Where you say ask me 4 times? I don't see it. You can go and talk what you want to talk, saying anybody can say anything. Anybody can say anything repeatedly, brother. I not really discuss nobody, so I don't want to talk about neither Mark Golding or Andrew Holness or none of them. Everybody I do for them things, you see me? Yeah. I say I could find some solutions and I could start to stand up for the people. Because I have about 15 more minutes, so we can hold a reasoning now if we don't have any suggestions, so we can bring it. You understand? NHT benefit. Every time we raise the NHT benefit, it raises the cost of the house. Because all the man them do is to just raise the price of the house. So this foolishness, so I see them always raise the NHT benefit, they even make no sense to me. You understand me? Yeah, because it will raise the price of the house. NHT can play the role of market stabilization, you know, by building whole heap of house and setting the price point. But them no want to do that. Them want some man rich off of them. Because me build a house about 4,000 square foot and it never cost me $50 million. I see some people are sell some house 1,000 square foot for $50 million. That's not fair. You understand? So when me see the cost of building a house versus where them have build and sell for NHT intervene, but them not intervene. You understand? Them not intervene. One day, my baby. If I give up the position of senator, but if I give up the position of senator, I can't burn a fire in the Senate. So why am I going to do that? I want to be able to say, yo, this right and this wrong. If I never was a senator, I'd be a nobody. So I don't want to be a nobody. I want to be able to talk my mind and talk what I think wrong and what right. So I don't give it up. But if they ask for it, I give them back, but I don't give it up. Because I want the power there. You understand? Well, you see, the two of them, that's why I'm telling them fight for themselves. The two of them I see them look like fight for themselves. Public sector wage need to be increased, then I must. It needs to be increased, but at least them need to know, say, them for treating. Alright, let me say something to you, because we now use creativity. You see, the salary can be subsidized by the benefits. You see, the public sector salary, your salary, you know, is just a set of consumptions, you know. It's really what you can buy. So if you give me 10 grand for my salary, if it can buy everything what I want, me alright with the 10 grand. If you give me $1 million and it can buy what I want, me not alright with the million. It's like all the police, we should get the police thing there. Car concession. See? Because it can't make sense for you to stop a taxi and then you have to take a taxi in the night. It does not make sense. Remember, say one police woman they get killed on a bus, you know, and we don't do nothing about that, you know. At least every 5 years, police should can get a concession. You understand? It's like teacher, we should have said to them, say like internet is like a tools of trade. Not because we have home school, but because you have to study and prepare for our class, so we are going to free internet. So we could have give them things where then make them salary increase without increasing them salary. You understand? But nobody now really think about them something there. You see me? It's like all in the public sector now, you should be able to borrow your full loan from NHT or at least more than $9 million. Maybe if in the public sector you can borrow, let's say, $20 million from NHT. And when you left the public sector, then the 11 million become regular loan like a bank, you transfer to a bank, and you have to pay the loan interest there. So that would make more people stay in the public sector because they want to maintain the loan payment there. You understand? Enough local thing in my brain because I regularly lay down and think about and think about how to help the country, But them vultures are just, make me disheartened, you see me? No house can buy for $6.5 million. You understand? Not especially how them want you to do the house. Can't buy that. But me I say to no, better when you get piece of land and build a house, way cheaper than to buy them dear house. Them want to mix me up? Them can't mix me up. I'm a good man. Yeah, the NHT refused to build. That's why when we write the manifesto, we say we are going to build. How much would they say? Must say 90,000 or how much thousand enough house we say we are going to build. Because we want to just re-establish that. What is reasonable. But if you get a starter home, you can then build your own house. Get piece of land. And then you either go look at work on a construction site and get to know people, or you go par out on a construction site and talk to people, and then you can find tradesmen who will give you a good price. You see me? I don't know why you ask me, miss, why Mark no use Lisa. That are either between Mark and Lisa. I don't know if you answer that. I don't know if you answer that. Wayne, big up yourself, man. Thanks. Alright, so thank you. I hope you understand what I say. I'm not try to disrespect nobody, I'm not try to violate nobody. But just as I say to say people, when we look on what go on, things have to change and we have to change it. I hope I'm providing with much and sufficient information for you to go research for yourself now as a start, as a basis for you to accept and do some research. And we start to fight and propose. Type it in our social media pages and inform other people. We can remind you what we are saying we want. We want the government to reduce the primary surplus by 1% and to use the $20 billion where it becomes available to come and help the people. See? We want them to remove the gas tax. See? The hedge tax that should be removed so that the food price can come down and the cost of transportation can be reduced. We want them to cut the tax on the shipping portion of customs to half of what it is currently based on the increase in the cost of shipping, so that we will pay our full duties on the invoice and reduce to 50% of the shipping portion down our customs. We want them to organize, or at least we are going to organize ourselves into a tutorial, telephone tutorial brigade, so we can do some telephone tutorials with our students. We want them to lobby to CXC so that them can do some staggered exam periods so that all are winning for their school at the same time. See, so if them to stagger exams, then we can stagger our children and we can get a better outcome from that. We want them to link up with the Jamaica Manufacturers Association to distribute hard copy to the communities so that the communities can get access to these particulars. We want them to give the teachers $100,000 or $150,000 to prepare themselves for effective work from home, and so that we can move forward. See? And we want them to consider giving a longer period on a Saturday, even if them take it back with a shorter period on a Wednesday, so that the people who work on a Saturday, like the hairdresser them, can get a reasonable time to make them week income in a one day. See? So at that moment we put forward and to propose, and we want them to put some money behind UTech designing some cheaper nutritious food so that the newspaper and thing can circulate it, and we can send it by WhatsApp so that our families and our women can and our men can start to know how to cook some nutritious food cheap. You understand? Some yam this and some banana that. You understand? Yeah, those are the things that we want. See? So big up on yourself and thank you very much for coming on and spending the last hour and a half with me. See? Thank you very much. Respect. Alright, later. See? Yeah man, thank you later.